gonna give in now. I just gotta live this now. I'm gonna be when I'ma kill this stuff real quick. I'ma go take it to town, cause I gotta be that king in the ring when I'm knocking them out when I'm back with the will. Cause I am just up on the journey. Just know that I'm just going insane.
Warriors rise, grand rising. Good evening, warriors all over the world. Excited to be with you guys on this exclusive update of XRP Unleashed. And I cannot even believe that this moment is here right now. So I want to take you guys back a little bit in history on December 20th, 2020, and all the way to this moment, 2024, where we sit today, September 25th, 2024. And so I've got to assume many of you are XRP holders or maybe Ripple pre-IPO. So this has been a story of resilience, a story of discipline, a story of consistency. I remember on December 20th, 2020, I was quarantined after they had shut my business down, taking away my ability to take care of my family financially. So I got my business back up. We had all these rules and regulations going on within the ecosystem, and I had to be quarantined so that I could run my business. So there I am, locked in a hotel for 14 days. And that's the worst thing you can do to me, is lock me up for 14 days. I was deep in meditation, and all of a sudden my text messages start blowing up. JV, XRP, why did you talk about XRP? They're suing Ripple. And I got on and did a press release, or I called it a press release, like I'm some news station. I get on there and I'm like, because everybody's like, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm holding on like a tick on a dog, and I'm diamond hand. And I started buying more and more and more. And I realized in that moment in time, as we've been studying history, we've been studying historical patterns, right? There's waves of energy. And also we've studied that every single company, most big companies at the SEC sues, become some of the largest investments in the ecosystem. So here we are 4 years later. It feels like it was never going to end. And we have everything coming to a head right now as we sit in September 25th, 2024. So it's such an honor to have Maya here to talk about XRP Unleashed. And we're going to kick it around the room as well, have everybody talk about their experience, even with Ripple, XRP, and this documentary. But you got to know that this is just the tip of the iceberg about what you're about to see. And you have to see this. It is going to blow your mind. And I don't think it's by chance that Maya and Chris had this inclination that this needed to come out at the exact time that this is coming out. So you're about to see something that is going to open up the minds and awareness to the financial system, also what the possibilities are for the future. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it over to Maya. If you can give us some details and updates on where we're at with XRP Unleashed. It's been a really cool journey. But first, before we do that, I want to say thank you to you and Chris, because a lot of people don't realize you guys actually invested all of your own capital into this. I mean, that's amazing. Your own money into this. Didn't take any money from anybody, invested into this, and you guys are carrying this whole thing on your back. So first of all, I want to say thank you for that. But can you give us some updates on where we're at with XRP Unleashed?
Yes. Yeah. No, thank you so much, Coach, for having me. As of August, after talking to a few Hollywood executives, even talking to someone that had connections with Netflix, we just we were very disappointed to see the reaction in understanding just the importance of the documentary, giving us advice like you need like a Kim Kardashian or LeBron James to be attached to the project to make it successful, or who's this Ripple, which was really like, again, like we were talking earlier, we are in early. So we then at that point, Chris and I had to make the decision to kind of go a different way. We are deciding to self-distribute,
Awesome.
which means that which means we had to completely even change the layout of the documentary. So now instead of a 6-part series, we only got that advice for like a Netflix streaming platform, or certain streaming platforms have certain layouts. So now, since we're not going that route, we are doing a full length feature film. It's going to be about 2 hours, maybe a little bit less. And even also from August on, we've had some major connections and ties to the Ethereum Foundation, where we have been able to verify and validate some, very interesting information that is going to create a bombshell in this documentary coming out. Just in regards to some of the corruption going on with the Ethereum Foundation, with our own government, certain Chinese companies as well. So. Um, yeah, as of just even the latest, Chris right now, actually, speaking of which, Chris is in New York and in Washington D.C. He had to go back and film, just get the last little piece of information from Stephen Narioff in New York, and then in Washington D.C. he's there currently filming with the Power Oversight Group. Is that what they're called? Which actually they themselves, that group, sued the SEC. So that was a huge get. And we also were able to connect with, through Steven and through some other people, connect with James O'Keefe as well. We're still kind of making, we're still kind of figuring out kind of when's the best time to get him involved and how he's going to play a role in helping us promote this. But, exciting things are coming, major bombshells, even more so than what I am telling you guys. But we're excited to show the community. We're excited to get it out there. And the do you want to know about the premieres or anything
Yeah,
right
look,
now?
I do
Okay.
want to say one thing about this, like the irony of the meeting you had with them, and it's like you got like a Kim
Yes.
Kardashian. How about a P Diddy? Can you throw a P Diddy in there? I mean, come on,
It's,
like think about the irony of that, of how much things are changing right now. So, and I'm so grateful that you guys are going self-distribution, decentralization, doing it on your own, because it's like, why would you want to give this beautiful masterpiece to them if they're looking? Because that shows you what the
yes.
system is all about, right? You're just going to
Yes.
throw some famous person in there just to give it its clout. It has to be organic. So congratulations for going that route. I know you guys are following a path that's going to be a lot more difficult. It's going to take a lot of
It
legwork,
is. It's gonna
energy.
take a lot more work. Yeah. Yeah.
So
But
in
you're right.
regards
Yeah.
Go ahead. In
Yeah.
regards to premieres and dates, can we talk a little bit about that?
Yes, yes. So we are still locking in the last little bit of theaters, but probably within the next week and a half, we will lock them all in. We have 7 different cities: LA, Houston, Washington D.C., New York, Boston, and Arizona. And so, yeah, exactly. And so we are going to have those all locked in probably end of September, a week or so, a week and a half, maybe first few days of October. But we also don't, sometimes it's about timing. We don't want to, drop that on our website with the ticket sales and the announcement until after this SEC appeal. We have to first see, are
Mm,
they going to appeal? Are they not? So probably October 8th or 9th. Just those dates, or maybe a little bit after, we'll then make the announcement of where the locations are, what the dates are. As of now, the time frame is anywhere from November 11th to like November 19th. If anyone wants to know kind of a basic time frame, we're gonna get 7 cities within those like 10 days. So yeah, that will be announced within the first week of October. We'll then have ticket sales
awesome.
on our website for wishamproductions.com. And we'll also have merchandise. We're gonna have John Deaton's XRP Unleash Knuckles, right? That's gonna be one of the merchandise that you can get, as well
That's
as
awesome.
T-shirts, hats, backpacks. We're gonna update the merchandise posters. So we'll have that all within the first week or two of October, for everyone to kind of get their merchandise, get their support, and then when you guys come to the premieres, you can be wearing it if you like. So yeah, I think that's
So I want to bring something up that I get all the time on my Twitter. Is like, is this
okay.
just a bunch of influencers? Is this just Coach JV
Uh,
touting? It's like the people don't realize who's coming out in this documentary. The thing that I love it,
yes.
it's from the grassroots all all the way up to the top. And so can you talk a little bit about, are you allowed to talk about some of the special guests in there? And then what I'd like to do is kick it around the room. We got a special guest. We got Mikkel in the house. If you don't follow Mikkel and you don't follow Echo, please go follow them as well. Amazing, amazing friends of the channel, amazing human beings, amazing energy. So we got Echo and Mikkel. What we'll do is we'll kick it over to them since they're our guest, and then we'll go over to Abs, the greatest host in human history, and Johnny Crypto with a K, one of my best friends at work, as we continue to rise up. So I want to hear about your guys' experience with XRP, with Ripple, and your experience with the documentary as well. So can you talk a little bit about some of the special guests within there? So a lot of people think, is it just influencers or is there other people involved?
That's a very good question. And yes, I get the same question a lot as well. No, really. So I want people to understand that, you have to start somewhere, right? And when we thought about this project, when we started thinking about, okay, well, how are we going to spark this project? Who are we going to reach out to first? Actually, Echo was one of the first people we reached out to. It really, I mean, what people have to understand is, it was who is, you got to start with who you know, and as well as I wanted to make sure that the individuals that we put in this documentary are authentic, are the right people for the message in this documentary. And so really it started out with just kind of the individuals that I knew in the space. I had been on TikTok for a couple years, gone to know Echo, got to know Rico, Brooke, and yourself. And so I reached out to you guys, and I appreciate you guys giving Chris and I a chance. Believing in us, not knowing what this crazy project was going to be about or where it's going. But then after all of that, when we were able to just get the basis of, okay, and also, as much as whether you realize it or not, documentaries are still entertainment. So, you need a little bit of the kind of the influencers, the hype, the spark, to get the project going. But then we were able to connect with John Deaton, Stephen Narioff, Jimmy Valley, and Linda P. Jones, and Fred. I always forget his last name. What's his name? Yes, for Spoli. But really it was just kind of, like you said, grassroots, really growing it organically. With each person we met, we kept on having doors open to us. And, that's when we knew we were doing the right thing. I always believe if you're on the right path, doors will be opened. To the point of even within 4 or 5 months of starting our documentary, we were able to get Ripple. I mean, to go from, people, we're really, who are we in the world and in the space, right? To getting Ripple themselves, and many more. And even as of now, right, we're able to, we're in communication with James O'Keefe. We're trying to figure out, how he can be involved, all of that. And he may even be able to open up the doors to like Tucker Carlson, Trump himself. So we're still working on all of that. So again, it's just a matter of, you got to start with who you know,
Yep.
and you have to stay true to the project. You have to stay true to yourself, and that was something that Chris and I always believed in. We hope that Patrick Riley, we hope that we were able to get a well-rounded cast of people. I know that you always have kind of the haters, the doubters, but
Part of it.
you have to move forward and you have to believe. I mean, if anything, what's really keeping us going is we believe in the project, we believe in the technology, and we just believe in the people who have helped us and appreciate you guys so much. So that's kind of
That's
a little
amazing.
bit of, yeah.
I
Yes.
can't wait. What's life without duality, right? You need the, the haters are they're coming out, they're sharing their side of the story. And I think when they see this, they'll be pleasantly surprised. And there'll be some that aren't. And that really doesn't matter as we continue to move forward.
Right.
So I want to move over to Mikkel. Mikkel, thank you so much. I love your content, brother. I love your content. I love the energy. That's one thing I'm all about, energy and vibration. I love your energy. So how did you get involved in this? And what's your story with XRP and Ripple?
Yeah, thank you very much and really appreciate it, Coach. You're one of the first people. I don't think I ever told you this, that I was watching when I first got into the entire Ripple and XRP space. And I'm massively thankful to kind of everyone who helped guide me and teach me about everything and really helped me build that foundation of knowledge. So really cool to see some of this stuff come full circle, and for me to even be on a live stream with you is really cool.
Thank you.
The documentary, I'll start with kind of how I got into Ripple and XRP. It started, I was doing a lot of engineering work as well as investing in tech companies. And I had a portfolio of a lot of different companies, really wanted to see something unique in the fintech space. It seemed like a lot of interesting consumer applications, Robinhoods and stuff like that, but it was just another interface. So to see something that was transforming those underlying rails and really transforming the way value moves, to me, that was really exciting. Ripple was the first company I saw that was delivering real utility or a real world use case using blockchain technology to really take it to that next stage. And for me, it was such a no-brainer. It was like, finally, after learning about all this crypto stuff, learning about all this innovation, I finally see a company taking this innovation and applying it to a real problem in the world. And that was when I pretty much just jumped in to really focusing on this one digital asset specifically and this company. So I think we all know how that goes. The second you start learning, it really doesn't stop from there. One of the cool things about this space is, and I say this all the time, is you get into Federal Reserve, banking policy, technology, regulation. Like, it's an endless source of knowledge. And just to be able to surround yourself with like-minded people like we have on this panel, everyone who kind of has their own expertise, is really cool. And I think we all make ourselves smarter in the process. I met the team doing the XRP documentary out in Vegas, which was really, really cool. I actually didn't know about the documentary going into that, other than some of the controversy was drumming up on social media. I was always really excited about it. So one of the reasons why they specifically brought me in was because I was like kind of just clapping back for him, because I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Why are people kind of going against this?
We appreciated that. Yeah.
That's how I first started seeing you. I saw you clapping back with it, and I was like, I'm gonna start following your content. I'm like, this guy's good.
Who's this Mickle guy?
Yeah, I like it. That's cool.
No, I was so excited about it. And my first real eyes on the documentary was actually at XRP Vegas. I was sitting there with my girlfriend at the time, and we were watching the documentary, and she had no idea anything about cryptocurrency. She had no idea anything about XRP and Ripple. And after watching that documentary, she was asking me all these questions about how she bought XRP, how she learns more about Ripple, the company. And this is someone who had zero interest in cryptocurrency, zero interest in any of this stuff. And I think it's so good. I think it's so important to the message of what this documentary is trying to achieve. It's trying to bring a lot of these very complex topics, these very hard to wrap your head around ideas, mainstream, and bringing it to people in a way that they can fully understand not only the value proposition, but why this whole story is so exciting and so important. So I fell in love with it there, because it was my first time realizing that, hey, this is kind of getting people over the cryptocurrency barrier. This is reaching a new audience. This is making people who didn't understand start to understand. And then I was lucky enough to have the team reach out to me in Vegas, wanted to bring me in to do some of the interviews. Couldn't be more excited for that. They blew me out of the water with how professional they were. The quality of what they were delivering was out of this world. Just made me more and more excited about everything they were doing. But at its core, it was just the idea that this was going to reach a lot of new people, onboard a lot of new people into crypto, and to be able to tell the story in a different way than maybe someone like you or I do at JB through our live streams, or with these other different ways of really jumping into the tech and really jumping into the technology. I think that's really important, because it kind of eases people into a lot of the stuff we'll talk about and explain later down the road.
Exactly.
I love it. Yeah, I love what you're talking about too, as a storytelling, because the storytelling helps people understand and relate to the story, right? And I think that's the beauty of what they did with the organic from influencers. How they influence human beings, us human beings, real grassroots people, all the way to the top of the house, because people can see themselves in all of our stories as they go up. So I'm going to head over to Echo real quick. Echo, so as we always know what you hold, baby. I love it. So one of the biggest things I want to say thank you to Echo, because Echo's the one that reached out to me and got me involved in this. And Echo seems kind of like the beginning of all this in regards to reaching out to people. And then I got to meet Echo in person. Number one, I'm 5'8", guys. He's a massive human being. I was like, holy shit. When he walked in, I was like, Jesus Christ, Echo is a big dude, man. number one. And he's a big dude with a big ass heart, man. He's a really good human being. And so when I met Echo right away, we're like, this dude's family, man. I remember breaking bread with them, sitting down. I'm like, I like this guy. And so that's a real important thing for us in our ecosystem is, you know, when we invite people into we call it our kingdom, our ecosystem. And right away, man, I was like, and I can tell Mikkel's going to fit right in as well. Is it just love you, dude. You're a great dude. You're a great father. I love the way you talk about your son. So how did your experience start with all this? I know you were like the first person to kind of start this whole ecosystem in regards to getting in contact with people.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Coach, and much love to you. Love you so much, brother, and everybody here on the panel. Thank you very much for allowing me to be here. Yeah, whenever, you know, I first got to know Chris and Maya, you know, through TikTok, right? Or actually just Maya. And then she actually contacted me, communicated with me. We've done live together. We used to have a community over there. I mean, people that followed us over there, they understand before they permanently banned and took my account out, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I digress. I met Maya over there, and we had we were always talking about the spiritual side of XRP, right? A lot of people think it's about the money, right? It's all about the numbers and everything, which is true, right? Because I come from a financial background. I did mortgages for a living, did processing, did underwriting. So I know the logistics on that end, right? With that being said, I understood that, you know, the difference between debt and what, you know, and how an economy should work. Whenever I started learning about the U.S. debt clock and the information upon that, right, I was sharing it with Maya in the community over there. Well, whenever we got into that information, we got into, you know, the court case, why everything was going on, right? And almost like everything was set up, right? But set up to expose everything, right? The unelected bureaucrats that are inside of our office right now. And that is what they are telling, the storytelling of them sharing that information of why we know what we hold. It's not just technology, right? It's freedom, in my opinion. I mean, some people think I'm crazy when I talk about, hey, this thing is going to change the world right here. I mean, dude, it's already written. It's just when are they actually going to, you know, what they call flip the switch, right? But for the most part, they have to, if we're going to be going in my envision is that we're going into the new world. And in this new world, it's going to be able to expose all the information and share that story that a lot of people probably didn't know what was going on in the background. Right. All the corruption, again, the unelected bureaucrats. Right. But whenever I got into whenever Maya reached out to me, right, she asked me, hey, Echo, I have this. I want to tell the story about the SEC, the corruption behind it. Right. Get into the topic of what's causing our world, the economy, how it is right now. And her and Chris were telling me about the documentary, like sharing, you know, everybody, or influencers and people that are in the XRP community, right? Their own story and reflecting it inside of there. So they asked me to reach out to, you know, to you and yourself, or to yourself and other individuals as well, like to see if, hey, who would want to be part of sharing this story, right? Because this is all a whole entire journey. So in that case, I ended up reaching out to you, and then that's when, you know, the magic started happening. And, you know, I figured out that it's just, you know, it's a network effect, right? And it's something so magical that I zoomed out and I was like, oh my goodness, this is pretty freaking cool, right? Yeah. But you see that how massive the community is and the support that we have too as well, right? So in that case, you know, I was able to bring their vision to life because Chris, he's a magnificent, beautiful person, right? Like he literally, how he envisioned things. If y'all haven't seen the trailer for XRP Unleashed, right, go make sure y'all follow Fruition Production and watch those trailers immediately, because the trailers right there, not only just like having some of the best influencers to, like, you know, bring everybody into this oh my goodness moment, like, because everything's going to be exposed. We already know it's happening right now. Let's just be the timeline, you know. If anybody's clued in on what's going on, Diddy and everything, everything is happening, right? So I'm kind of like, okay, cool. Now we can go ahead to the next step of this whole entire process, which then it will also include the story that a lot of people weren't tuned into. So yeah, that's pretty much the sums up of it. And, you know, they've been giving me daily updates on, or not daily, but monthly updates on, like, hey, this is what we're doing, you know, and I'm brainstorming with them. Okay, well, what can we do to bring this into fruition? Right, because that's what their name is, Fruition Production.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, you know, it's so beautiful. What you talked about is that we're going from this centralized system in regards to stars telling the story to us telling the story, organic, right? And so that leads perfectly into Abs and Johnny. So when we talk about Abs, like everything that we are experiencing here within our academy is organic. I mean, it was like we all got together because we were like-minded individuals. We're working to get our shit together. We saw this thing, XRP and cryptocurrency, and this change in the system. And we all started working together. We started sharing information. We started talking about exit plans. We built spreadsheets, and it was just a group of like-minded individuals coming together with our unique skills to build things. And then I remember I was getting ready to head off to Peru, and it was a beautiful journey. I was sitting there. I'm like, man, I want to keep the channel going. I just disconnect for 14 days. I think we're sitting in the office over there. We're sitting in the gym, and they're like, hey, we'll do a show. And that became Good Morning Crypto Show, which I believe is one of the greatest crypto shows in the human history. And that evolved into that. And that's the organic piece of it, is allowing things to come into fruition based on its own natural flow, right? And so then Abs came on board, Johnny came on board, and I know they're big stars now in the ecosystem. And so Abs, I know I don't want to tell our story, but how did you get involved in cryptocurrency, XRP, and this whole journey?
Well, you know what's interesting? First of all, I want to say thank you to Maya and Chris for even including me and Johnny in this whole thing. And JV, I got to say thank you to you as well, because we always talk about how this started. But I think what's most important is that you created an environment where we didn't have to play a character. I could be 100% of myself. Same with Johnny, Gonzo, and Mario. I think I can speak for them as well. And that's why the show has been successful. People really feel that. We show up, we talk about what we want to talk about, and hopefully our listeners enjoy that content. So I did just want to say thank you to JV for even giving us an opportunity. When it comes to crypto, this is where it gets really interesting. So for anybody who doesn't know my background story, I originally made enough money to stop going to college my junior year when COVID hit, and I moved down to Florida. So that's how I ended up down in Florida. Now, I was trading stocks at the time. I took that money, I put it in the crypto market, and then we had our bull run. So I got really, really lucky. You can call it divine timing, whatever you'd like to say. Things lined up perfectly for me to be able to do this for how many years? Almost 3 years in February. So hopefully that's the first of 300. That's what I like to say. But the reality is, guys, that what I've noticed about the crypto community is that it provides a sign of optimism. And as I watched some of the documentaries, first of all, I was impressed by how professionally produced it was. I was really caught off guard by that. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting what I saw. So I just want to say that in and of itself was levels above what I was anticipating. The next thing I realized is that every single person, whether they're in the documentary or watching this live, has their own unique story. And the story typically has to do with how crypto provided this new mindset for them. And I think I relate to that super well. I do want to apologize for the dog in the background. I'm home with my parents right now. So that's not my dog. That's my parents' dog. I can't lock it up. But staying focused, what I did want to say is that crypto provided that same thing that JV gave me, which was this optimism that I could do something useful. There were better days ahead. And anybody who saw our episode this morning with Waters Above, that was really the theme of the episode. There's a very thin line between optimism and delusion. And so hopefully me and Johnny are walking that line perfectly, and the entire Good Morning community team is here with us. So I did just want to say thank you. Thank you to Maya. Thank you to Chris. Thank you to JV. Thank you to Johnny for showing up every day. I'll say thank you to Echo and Miko as well, because I love those guys. But I'm super excited. I don't have much more insight than a lot of our live chat does, but from what I've seen, from the videos, the short form content, the conversation behind the scenes, I think this is going to be an absolute game changer, and I'm humbled to be involved. So thank you.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, thank you so much. You talked about hope, and that's what it gave us, something to focus on. It gave us purpose. I was just talking to somebody about this. There's two things that people need: is purpose and principles, right? And a society without purpose or principles is what you're experiencing right now in America, right? So it gave us purpose. It gave us something to focus on. It gave us some sort of destiny that we can, and then it created community. Like, because of all this, I always tell people, everything effing collapsed, I have you guys. Really, seriously. And I believe that if I look at, our ecosystem, Johnny, all the team, our whole team here, we always say if everybody took everything from us, we'd be back up like that right away. And so I feel that's what it did, is crypto bring this, whether you're, take all the maximalist stuff, but it brought people together, whether you're a Bitcoin maximalist, Dogecoin, whatever it is, it gave people hope in a community. So awesome job. And speaking of hope and community, we got Johnny Crypto with a K. So I want to give him some praise as well. And so if you guys have ever met me, I'm very protective of my children, extremely probably overprotective of my children, and my children absolutely love Johnny K. One of their I take them all over the world, and one of their favorite vacations is going to Connecticut with Johnny Crypto. And my daughter she sleeps on a blow-up bed. We're all piled in one room. I take them all over these nice vacations, and every time I say, "What's your favorite place?" Johnny's beach house. So Johnny, appreciate you. And that shows character. Why I brought that up, it's character, man. You know, when your kids love Johnny, and my son absolutely loves you, my daughter loves you. So Johnny, thank you for being a great friend. Thank you for being a good human being. And share us with, how did your journey start, and with Ripple and XRP and the community?
Well, Coach, I usually don't tear up, but you brought a little tears to my eyes with joy. And first of all, let me just say good afternoon to all the Warrior Maniacs out there. I love and appreciate them all for showing up. But I actually love and appreciate you guys, Coach. What you've done for me in my life, and the way you've changed it has been really, dramatic, traumatic. It's been fantastic. Really appreciate you there. And Abs, my best friend. You guys are my best friends. I mean, I do all things with you guys. It's just changed my life. So the power of community and love that you've helped build, that we're all part of, is absolutely priceless. And Maya, I hope you're okay over there, because
okay.
we love you too. But Coach, you said something was so important. It's so important of bringing love in this community, in this world, which is filled with division.
Yep.
And we are the light to help bring that. And to me, that's really been so important. And when I got to meet, Echo and Mikkel and Maya and Chris, I mean, Maya, you guys are such a great couple, but your husband is such a wonderful guy, so friendly, so professional. It was so awesome to be a part of the filming of the documentary, not because we're forming a part of history and telling a story. Of course, that's part of it, but just to be able to work with good people. Such a good-hearted guy. And so it was very, very exciting to be part of that. Coach, you asked how I got into this. Most people maybe, you know the story. I'm not sure if other people do. But, one day I was checking out this TikTok with this jacked up dude in a tank top, red tank top and a beard. That's right. And he was talking about the corrupt banking system. And I said, holy shit, this guy gets it. Finally, somebody that really, really gets it, right? I see Echo waving his head down there. And that's what's important, is being able to be around like-minded people.
Yeah.
To talk who you are and to be authentic. That's a common trait we've lost in America. You can't, it's you try to be yourself around people, and people look weird. And so it's a great thing that you've built at the 3T Academy, and Maya being able to be authentic on video and be able to, what you guys are doing is just a beautiful continuation of what we built here at the Academy, is that authenticity to tell a true story, right? Like, they want you to have an actor in it. Why? We don't need actors.
Yeah.
We don't need PG to come in. We don't need Kim Kardashian to show her big butt off and tell about no, she's going to tell you the truth about the story. We're going to tell you the truth about the story. And that's what's so great about what you guys have done in XRP Unleashed, is to bring real people in, grassroots people that built it, to come out and tell the real story, not a fake one, of what's going on. It's so, so awesome. I'm so proud to be a part of something that true and kind of just represents the whole thing we're trying to do here at the Academy. So thank you so much for including us. I just can't tell you how grateful I am. It's so awesome to be with this community. I love you all.
That's amazing. Yeah, you're so awesome, Johnny. Love you, man. So I'm going to come back over to you and talk about, a couple things just to kind of recap some stuff and go back to specific dates and stuff. I know a lot of people are asking in the comments that just got on. So basically XRP Unleashed is coming out very soon. It's going to start out in theaters. It's going to be premieres. And so I know I'll be at the Arizona and LA premiere. Johnny and Abs, are you going to be Boston? You guys going to be there?
I'll be in Boston.
Perfect.
I'll probably be in New York.
Okay.
New York, and then Echo?
I'll be in Atlanta.
Okay, so
Nice.
awesome.
Oh, yes, Atlanta's another one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll for sure 100% be in LA and Arizona. So if you'd like to meet any of us and any of the other people out there, and thank you guys too for doing it all over the United States, so that people, that's one thing that I really appreciate, right? It's very easy to do it on the West Coast, or do it in Las Vegas, or do it somewhere where everybody can travel to, but you're helping people get to this premiere by coming closer to them, which is freaking awesome. And I know that's costing you guys a lot of money to do as well. And I know one of the reasons why you did that is so people can get access to this as well. So it's going to start out in theaters, like a movie premiere, and then it's going to be self-distribution. Can you just talk a little bit about the dates and timelines once again?
Yeah. So we are going to be, so right now we are locking in the rest of the kind of the theaters. So we have the time frame right now between November 11th and November 19th.
Okay.
So we're going to go to 7 different cities between that time. First week of October, we will release the dates and the times with the city. But for now, we're going to go to LA, Houston, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Boston, and New York. And so That is between November 11th and November 19th. But you will know by the first week of October. We're planning on dropping everything after this whole SEC thing, whether they appeal or not, around October 8th or 9th, that weekend. We will then, on Fruition Films, if you can go to Fruition Films on X, follow us there for any updates. We will then do our ticket sales on fruitionproductions.com. You can go to our website. You can get the pre-ticket sales you can buy for the premiere. We will also have merchandise and the knuckles, backpacks, hats, posters, all
Awesome.
of that. So yeah, anything else? Did I
And
miss
then,
anything?
yeah, then from there, it's going to go into self-distribution across which platforms?
Yeah, so then from there, probably, so once we're working with a self-distribution company called Bitmax. Once we actually hand it over to them, we really can't, we can say we would like you to release it at this time, but we can't really tell them when they're going to release it. So it's going to be released on Apple, Amazon, Google Play, iTunes, Vimeo. And then we ourselves are going to release it on X through a subscription, kind of a subscription paywall. And I think that's it. But with the Bitmax, with the self-distribution company, once you give it to them, it usually takes them probably 2 to 4 weeks to bring it out and blast it on all the platforms that they have the connections to. So I'm thinking more likely it will be more like late December, mid-December.
Awesome.
But yeah, because we're working hard to get it all done by October, give it to the distribution company, and then from there they can blast it out in mid-December or so. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit of how that works. But yeah,
How,
we hope to see everyone at the premieres and such.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yep.
Oh, I
Oh,
just had
wait.
a quick question. So, as for the
Yeah.
premiere, I know it's a 6-part series. Is that going to be all 6 pieces? Is that going to be the first episode? How is that going to work?
Oh yes, so you actually missed the beginning part, Mikkel, or John, or Abs. Actually, because we are not releasing it on Netflix, we had to completely change the layout to now we're doing a feature film. It's going to be a full length feature film, probably about 2 hours, maybe a little bit less. So the 6-part series is not happening anymore. That was just some advice we got for if we were going to put it on Netflix. But in August, we had to completely change everything and go towards a feature film. So I also wanted to say with the premieres, it's going to be kind of like a red carpet event. You'll be able to come. We'll have, you can socialize, food, drinks beforehand. We'll have a red carpet event. You can buy some merchandise, watch the film, and then we will have a Q&A afterwards where you can ask, some of the people in the film questions about it, what it was like, and all of that. So. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So that means we got to dress up, Johnny Nabs. Do I have to wear shoes?
I'll get my tuxedo ready.
I have to break out the jacket again.
Yeah. Like I love
Off,
yeah, I love
coach.
remember the comment on social. Someone's like, buy Johnny a shirt. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna Shuni's gonna be doing the show with the shirt off, man. It's like, come on.
I mean,
Do whatever he wants.
you should just come however you feel comfortable.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean, look
just
nice, but just be you.
I
That's
want
good,
to.
Mike, because I don't think I have any sleeves, so that's
Yeah,
good.
the Warrior
Yeah,
Academy.
you know what? I don't think I have ever seen you with sleeves. Yeah.
Be your coach. You won't see either one of us in sleeves.
We can't
Very
move.
unlikely.
We can't move as
Yeah.
fast. It slows us down, man.
Yeah.
So, and we
So,
don't.
yeah.
We also
I
don't
was just
allow.
saying abs. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't allow abs to not wear sleeves because we'd have to put our shirts back.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Abs has to wear a full shirt and
Yeah,
sleeves.
I don't know. I heard the sleeve monster's running wild in Connecticut. That's what John tells me. So if I go to Connecticut, my sleeves might go missing. That's what I've been told.
Wait, Coach JV, I do want to say one thing with the Boston premiere. Actually, I am speaking with him tonight, but let's hope we get a new Senator John Dean at the Boston. He will be coming to the Boston career. That's why to the Boston premiere. That is why we're doing Boston just for him. So that will be a couple weeks after, right? After we'll know by that point. He's gonna win it. He's gonna win.
Can you imagine? God, he. Oh my gosh! Like imagine that. It's a whole new presidency.
Yep.
It will be a whole new presidency, and John Deaton wins. I mean, one thing. How does it feel? I mean, have you really digested this? That what you guys created is going to be historical. Have you like digested that? The people will probably watch this in schools, like way down. There was this battle against the SEC versus Ripple, and this documentary came out, or this feature film that explained. I mean, has it really set in what you guys created?
I mean, we have heard people say that, and even we want to believe that, but right now we're also just trying to process getting day by
Yeah,
day, trying to get the film done. So it's kind of hard to process that part right now. I mean,
yeah,
we really do hope that that is the case. I mean, like, was it Abs or was it Mickle that was saying, about just the authenticity? We wanted to
yep,
make sure the right people were in the film to give the message out. And I mean, again, we're not trying to promote Ripple or XRP. We're not trying to tell people how to buy crypto or what to do with their crypto or with their investments. We just want the knowledge to be there. We want them to be able to have that, to be able to make a more calculated decision on their finance, and go from there. And I do think, yeah, this is definitely a historical time. So I think it will hit us at one point completely, after all this stress is over with and done.
sure,
We've completed it. But we're hoping it does reach worldwide. I do believe in the film. Chris has done an amazing job. I feel I feel so bad because I am I'm more the social and the network person, but
yeah,
Chris really is putting his blood, sweat, and tears into that film, and he's gone everywhere, and he does things 200% when he goes all in on something. And he is someone has said that, just was an echo with the visionary. He's a
mm,
visionary. He's always been that way. And I think he is, he's very humble and a little bit doubtful of his work and is hoping that people see the vision. But I
yeah.
believe it. I do. I do
I
think
always,
it's
I
gonna,
always,
yeah.
yeah, I always say hope is not a strategy. This thing is going to crush it. I mean, when I saw the trailer in a little bit, I was like, oh my gosh. Just I mean, just the quality and the production and the feeling and the vibration and like the bringing people into the story and the way
Right.
that you guys tell the story. I mean, that's the whole essence of this. And I think Mikkel talked about that, or maybe Echo. It's
Yeah.
like it's around the fact that people are going to be able to relate to this. That's the
Well,
thing. It's not just, go ahead.
No, no, no. It's already in. You're absolutely right, though. That's exactly kind of what we want to provide for people. I mean, it is kind of bringing them in. Like your very first, I mean, you're the very first opening act, Coach JV, of why are we experiencing inflation? What is happening with our world, right? And so it is a perfect piece to get people like hooked and brought in, and to really relate to them on that level of, why are we experiencing these things? Everyone is feeling it, no matter how wealthy you are or how poor you are or anything. Just being human, you're feeling everything that's going on in the world. And we hope that it does provide a little bit more sense of hope, and light, kind of a beacon of light and direction in this world. So
That's
yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, and I didn't prepare you guys for this, but that's a good way to wrap it up. So I actually had hope in my head, and you said it, so I'm going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the room. I'm going to start with Abs. We're going to go Johnny, Echo, and we're going to go to Maya. And then if you can kick it back to me, what I'd like to hear is your message of hope. Like, what is your message of hope? Because the reason why I bring this up, and try not to get emotional talking about this, but I get emotional all the time. But the one thing I want to talk about is like a lot of people are going through some shit right now. A lot of people are struggling. A lot of people, even if you look at your neighbor, you see them going back and forth to work. Cumulative inflation of 19%. The average person needs to make about $12,000 a year more just to survive. So a lot of people are struggling right now. I just want to hear your guys' message, a little bit, 1 minute apiece. What is your message of hope for the people, man? What do you hope? What do you see for the future? And, spread that message of hope. So Abs, the floor is yours.
So for me personally, I think there's so much turbulence going on from like a political spectrum. And then we look at finances and everybody understands the debt crisis now. My optimism comes from a lot of this negativity being put under the spotlight. So this might be a little bit of a different message than people were anticipating, but I think we can all agree that there's a lot of controversy right now in America. There's a lot of turbulence. There's a lot of change happening right before our eyes. The positive part of all this is that change is happening before our eyes. And although some of this stuff is very frustrating and it can be difficult to compartmentalize, I think that all of this, when it comes to truth, when it comes to finances, when it comes to, we mentioned Diddy earlier, and it is an interesting topic to actually bring up. because this seems to be the year when darkness is being put underneath the spotlight and regular people are getting to say, you know what? No more Diddy music for me, right? So I think a lot of us feel overly negative or overly optimistic, but the truth is somewhere in between. And I really, really genuinely believe that throughout this presidential election, heading into the year of 2025, not only is it going to be an optimistic year financially, I think energetically, community-wise, family-wise, things are getting better in America. And I can only speak for America because I'm an American citizen. But when I look around and I compare it to what it was just 4 years ago, I'm extremely optimistic. And I think the fact that the darkness is being put underneath the spotlight is a really positive sign for everybody who's listening right now. So that would be my short message.
Beautiful. I love it. Johnny Crypto with a K. What's your message of hope for the people?
Wishing them all a great day. You know, for me, Coach, there is so much excitement out there. And I know there's a lot of hate and division and all this. And what I've learned in life, and the message I'd say for them is, this is almost better than hope. Is you can get past hope, because the reality is I found the way to get rid of and avoid all that darkness and all the stuff that I used to focus around all the time. And it's by removing myself from the equation, by no longer turning off the TV, not watching the news, and focusing on things that are important in life, like my friends. You know, everybody knows I live by the 4 F's: friends, freedom, fun, and family. Those are the things I focus on, and my life is great. It's really pretty good, right? And so the hope I have for everybody is that as we are passing and sharing good karma out there, that they're learning and hearing those ideas and saying, hey, yeah, you know what? Let me remove myself from the equation. Let me turn off the TV. Stop watching those news channels that are going to lie to you and not tell you the truth anyway. And create your own world, your own reality. Everybody listening right now has the power to do that. And it's so simple. Just turn off that TV and look around you and spend the time with your friends and family. And you're going to find so much love. You're not going to need hope, because the love out there, trust me, it's priceless.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. We'll head on down to Echo. Know what you hold, brother.
Very important to know what you hold. I couldn't have said it better myself. Johnny, dang. I love it. I love it. I mean, if I could sit here and say any message is that, don't lose faith. Like, don't lose faith. I mean, look, I know the world is a very dark place right now, right? But through all this darkness, there is a little bit of light, and it is shining through. You know, what I always say is, like, always ask questions, right? If you keep on asking questions, eventually you're going to find the answer or the solution. And don't stop, right? Continue to ask, because that's the only way that you can dig yourself out of, or not dig yourself out of, but, understand what's really been hidden behind, all these closed doors and whatnot. I mean, again, talk about Diddy, right? Behind closed doors, now everything's being revealed. So, just know that, in the background, right? Just like Ab said, everything is being done in the background, right? And people that are in the XRP community, they know that, right? They've done it. There's all the research out there, right? Again, ask questions, right? A lot of us that have done our research and asked these questions, we know the connection points and what the end game could be. Now, I'm not saying it will be, right? It can still go the other direction. That's right. It's very important to go out and vote November 5th, right? Also vote John Deaton too. But with that being said, all of that can help. We have to manifest our own reality, right? And, if that's the case, we want to bring that into fruition. So don't lose faith, keep your head held high, and, keep on holding strong, right? Warriors, rise.
Warriors.
There you go.
All right. Maya, what's your message of hope?
Yeah, really two things that I can think of is, one is that I hope for a more authentic world, and I don't know if you've seen this, there was this study done, and I don't know if you know that the vibration of authenticity actually vibrates at 4,000 times more than any other emotion or feeling, even love. And so I feel like, as a world coming and really projecting that authenticity, each and every one projecting that, and getting that authenticity and that frequency through realizing, like what Johnny said, the power is within yourself to make the change, to have a better world, and to know that you deserve to have that lifestyle, that world that you want. And so really to have a more authentic world, and then to also help people find the truth within themselves, to make the world that they want to make, for themselves. So, and then I just wanted to say again, thank you to everyone, Coach JV, Abs, Johnny, Echo, Miko, just for believing in Chris and I, believing in our project. I know it must have been, seemed crazy at the time to get on board with a project like this, but we couldn't have done it without you guys. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting. It felt right from the beginning. I mean, right when Echo reached out, it just felt right from the beginning. And that's when you know truth, right? You know truth. When you feel something is right from the beginning, you have discernment. So awesome message. Well, Miko, I'm going to put you on the spot right now. So what we're doing, we're going around the world. And so you got about a minute to give a message of hope to your followers, to our followers as well, to our friends out there. It's just a message of hope, man.
Yeah, I think this is one of those times where I think everyone, and Echo always says this, is being tested a bit on really what you hold. I think this is one of those times just fully understanding how transformational this industry is going to be, how we're really in a new paradigm, a new revolution for how money moves, how the financial system works. We're that 1996, 1998 experts, when those people were really learning about the internet and really seeing how this revolution was going to change the way we move information. We're in that same exact time period for digital assets. And I think the biggest thing I can tell people is that it's not, when you're investing, it's not about instant gratification, right? It's not about throwing money somewhere and saying, oh, and it's supposed to be a journey. It's supposed to require hard work. And I think it's one of those things that you look back on and it looks a lot different than a lot of the struggles you faced along the way. But I would just say embrace the people around you, embrace the people you get to interact with in this community. It's a really special community. There's a lot of really special people out here who all just want to work and make each other better. So I couldn't be more blessed to kind of be in this position and interact with all the people on this panel. And it's really cool to look around and see a bunch of individuals all working to kind of build out something special in this space. And when I think about what this industry looks like 4 to 5 years from now, it's a lot of people on this panel helping shape it. So it's really cool to be here with all of you guys and couldn't be more excited about the future and where we're headed.
That's amazing. Love you, brother. All right, so I'll wrap it up. Remember, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. This is so important. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. There's only 3 things you can control right now: your thoughts, your actions based on those thoughts, and your emotional reactions to what is happening. So get really deep in those thoughts. Understand you're awesome, period, fucking the end. Everything else is an opinion. Straight up, you're awesome, period, the end. Everything outside that is an opinion. If you're with good intentions, ethics, and morals, let it all play itself out. And what I'm honored about being with you guys right here, this is historical stuff. I love doing these videos because these are going to go down in history. We're in a moment in time right now where Maya nailed it. We're in a moment in time where authenticity is the new currency. So what I expect when we meet you guys out there is be your authentic self, be yourself. And that's the key. We're here to deveil, to unveil who we truly are. You're an amazing human being. You're made in the likeness and image. Your unique skill is your unique blueprint to give to humanity. And as we're seeing all this darkness come to light, let's transmute it into light. I know there's still going to be the hate, there's going to be the negativity, but remember, we're here to expand consciousness, not repeat it. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. As we always say, warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go.